Feral cats are a statewide issue, but a nonprofit organization on Lanaʻi is leading the way in addressing the challenge. The Lanai Cat Sanctuary offers a safe haven for hundreds of homeless cats, while actively working to protect the island's vulnerable native birds.
When I was invited to Lanaʻi to see if I'd be interested in helping out the Lanai Cat Sanctuary, I was given a tour down at Hulupoi Bay in an area called Pu'upehe. Some people know it as Sweetheart Rock. And on that trail out to the point, there's hundreds of these burrows where these shearwaters are ground nesting during certain parts of the year. And I just thought that this was a huge buffet for cats. And so that's what inspired me to come work at the Lanai Cat Sanctuary to protect certain areas where these birds are ground nesting by relocating these cats, providing them essentially their paradise for life, right? And a safe sanctuary for cats and a safe sanctuary for birds. And so that's what really compelled me to come here. My name is Keone Vaughn. I'm the executive director for the Lanai Cat Sanctuary. We're the only animal rescue organization on the island of Lanai, and we house about 800 feral and homeless cats. So the sanctuary began in 2007, where our founder, Kathy Carroll, moved from Illinois to Lanaʻi, and there was a sick kitten that kind of stumbled across her doorstep. So she quickly learned there was no veterinarian living on Lanaʻi for many, many years, and she'd have to take the cat to Maui. That conversation quickly evolved where Kathy said, I wish somebody would do something about the cats on the island. And the veterinarian said, well, why not you? And so she looked in the mirror and she said, why not me? And that's where it really started. So the Lanai Cat Sanctuary is located on 4 acres of land, about a quarter mile away from the airport. And all the enclosures are outdoor enclosures. They're enclosed by cat-proof fencing so the cats aren't able to get out. We have some isolated areas for different reasons. We have a kupuna center for our elderly cats where they can live out the rest of their life in a more quieter area. It gives our staff an opportunity to pay close attention to them. We have larger enclosures like this one. This one is 30,000 square feet, so about half the size of a football field. And this is home to about 400 out of our 800 cats. We have another area called the TLC area, where cats that are undergoing medical treatment or observation. It's a smaller 2,000 square foot enclosure, and it's just an easier way for our staff to keep an eye on these cats. We provide really high quality care for our cats and adhere to as many high standards as possible within the animal welfare community. So we fly in a veterinary team. It usually consists of a veterinarian and 2 technicians, almost weekly now, to the sanctuary. And they provide all kinds of services ranging from, your basic spay neutering to your eye inoculations to anything that the cats need. We have a full-fledged surgery suite here, and so we use that whenever needed. As the only animal welfare group, the only animal rescue group on the island, there's no Humane Society, there's no SPCA, there's a dog warden on the island, but there's nothing here for cats. And so our position is a little different than in most rescue groups. Here on Lanaʻi, we feel that it's our duty to save all these homeless cats as much as we can while protecting the native birds. And the way we do that is by partnering with the conservation group. So they go and they focus all their attention in these really sensitive bird areas, and they trap the cats humanely, and rather than euthanizing the cats, they bring them to us. And this is where they're welcome to stay for their entire life or until they find a home. And these are cats that have never seen a human until our intervention, until they're brought into the cat sanctuary. So they're completely feral, completely wild, don't want anything to do with us. But through the luxury of space and time at our sanctuary, we found about 40% of them become friendly and adoptable. Obviously, when you come to visit us, you're typically on vacation, so you can't take a cat home with you. But what we do is if you do happen to fall in love with one of our cats, we try to have a really thoughtful conversation and make sure that, you know, the people that are interested in adopting are knowing that this is a lifelong decision. But once the human and animal bond has been made with a specific cat, as long as they know it's a lifetime decision, we go ahead and arrange all the transportation later, which is a big deal to adopt out a cat from us. So in order for a cat to be adopted, we have to fly in a veterinarian within 10 days of the flight, so the veterinarian can make sure that it gets a health certificate. Then our staff member actually takes the cat on a ferry from Lanaʻi to Maui, and then takes the cat to the airport the next day, and we'll send the cat to wherever the people are living. So it's quite the process, but honestly, we'll do anything it takes to find the cat a home, because we much rather our friendly and adoptable cats be on someone's lap in their home than living their life here at the sanctuary. And while it's a great place to live for cats, adopting out one cat allows for another cat to come in. After the Lahaina fires, there were a couple hundred cats that were semi-social but not adoptable left in the burn zone. So we reached out to Maui Humane Society and offered our help. We're the only cat sanctuary in the state of Hawaii that has the ability to help, and we felt because it was our sister island and within the same county, it was our duty to do so. And so our deal with the Maui Humane Society is that we are going to take in the 200 cats from Lahaina, the burn zone, and in exchange, we're going to give Maui Humane Society 200 of our adoptable cats, and they're going to find homes for them, likely in the Pacific Northwest, where they have adoption partners. The Lanai Cat Sanctuary is a complete independent nonprofit. We are not affiliated with any other organization, Humane Society or SPCA. So we have to raise our money here. Pre-COVID, we had about 16,000 visitors coming from around the world just to Lanaʻi to visit the cat sanctuary. And so a large part of our donations, in fact, about 95% of our donations come from off-island visitors. In addition, just this fiscal year, we received a grant from the Maui County. It was our first time receiving a grant. So basically, most of our donations are coming from our visitors. We are located on an island with only 3,000 people, one gas station, and no traffic lights. So getting resources to the island, it can be a little challenging, but it's also more expensive than most, right? Most of the supplies come through Honolulu. They're put on a weekly barge and brought in here. And so we want to make sure that we have all the supplies needed caring for these cats. We also go through about 100 pounds of cat food every single day. So one of the things I think the Lanai Cat Sanctuary is really proud of is really trying its best to bridge the gap between cat enthusiasts and conservation. The humans introduced the cats, right? The native birds were here first. And if there was any place in the state of Hawaii that we could actually make a difference, it would be Lanaʻi. It's a very small human population. We offer free spay neutering. We're the only animal rescue on the island. And so we work closely with conservation to try to always provide them an avenue, a positive outcome for the cats that they're trapping in these areas, to bring them into a safe haven where the cats can be protected, right? And fed, watered, and taken care of. And that really allows the native and endangered birds to live out their life peacefully without the cats threatening them. If you're a cat enthusiast, or even if you're a bird enthusiast, I would love you folks, anyone, to come out here, take a day trip, come out to Lanaʻi. It's a beautiful island. There's a lot of rich culture here, but also to come to our cat sanctuary. And we're not saying that we're the solution. We're just a tool in the war chest on trying to protect both species. And it's a very unique approach. And I think you'll be shocked. It's really hard to describe what it's like with 800 cats. Most people think 800 cats, it must smell like 800 cats and feel like 800 cats. And quite honestly, that's our biggest compliment. It doesn't. When you come out here, we find people that actually come out here and take naps. It's a really relaxing place. I get teased a lot for calling it the Four Seasons for cats because they're not dying to get out. Once they're in here, they know that it's a great place to stay. So as far as future plans, the Lanai Cat Sanctuary is really learning as we go. So we are planning on expanding the cat sanctuary. We are currently working on building some other enclosures. With the influx of the cats from Lahaina, we feel it's important to provide them with a little bit more space. So we're expanding a little. 10 years ago, I started off with 3 staff and about 10,000 square feet out of the 4 acres that were here, and about 350 cats. And our operating budget back then was $100,000 a year. 10 years later, we have 18 staff. Granted, most of them are part-time and on call. We only have about 7 that are full-time, but we have 800 cats. We have taken up most of the 4 acres as far as cat enclosures, and our budget is $1.7 million a year. So I think we're all headed in the right direction. We feel like we're making a difference here on Lanai. There's areas where there hasn't been any bird deaths by a cat in years, and so that's a really good sign for us. You go into town, when I first started, there were pretty much cats everywhere just running in town like most cities and most towns, but now you go through Lanai City and you don't see any free roaming cats. So we're just gonna keep plugging away and hopefully we work ourselves out of a job.
Mahalo for joining us. Because of you, we are able to share these stories. We thank all of you for your continued support. For Home is Here, I'm Kala'i Miller. Ahui ho.